Hello guys, it's Xcello and welcome back to some more Block Story. Wow, I haven't said that since last decade. Anyways, this is going to be the last video I'm going to make covering this update because I pretty much covered everything. At this point, this is just going to be a short video where I discuss some of the smaller features that you might have noticed in some of my earlier videos when I showcased this update. And I also wanted to address some things you should do to prepare for this update. There are also a few controversial things I want you all to be aware of, so let's get started. There are a few things you should be aware of before flying into space. One of those things to note is that when you attempt to go up there, like flying with mana, you will eventually fall back down to the surface. That's because flying using mana in space is disabled. Instead of using that to get up into space, you will have to use your jetpack in order to fly up there. Another thing to note is that you will need a spacesuit in order to breathe up there. This spacesuit will equip to where a helmet would normally go. If you don't have one equipped, the game will think you're actually breathing underwater and you will slowly drown up there. Something else to take note of is just how hard these creatures are up there. The Amber armor is the best set of armor in the game, and even with that equipped, some of the creatures will still do over 500 and even over 1000 damage to you. Depending on the level of the swamp golem, you're looking at a creature that even at the lowest level possible, still does over 1000 damage to you, and that's just one hit. He actually attacks pretty fast. Some of the other creatures like the enemy Gontar or the new Dino Fish do over 500 damage to you per hit. This doesn't even include that most of them are actually resistant to magic damage. All of these creatures in space that are blue are completely resistant to it, so you'll have to focus on using guns, the regular arrow with the bow, and sword damage. As for the other creatures, there are some elements that heal them. For example, fire and electricity actually heal the Phoenix, meaning you can't use angelic swords, Phoenix swords, or the World Breaker. Instead, you might be better off using a tentacle staff or magic arrows or guns. It's really important to figure out what affects what in space if you want to stand a chance fighting against these giant, strong creatures. Now I would like to address a few smaller features that are coming out in this update and some bug fixes that players have been dealing with for a long time. Shields are finally getting fixed. Remember how shields would hardly block anything? That was actually a bug that has finally been fixed. Shields are finally going to be more useful once again. Something else you might have noticed in my teasers was a yellow number that appeared when I killed some creatures. That is because now when you actually kill something, the amount of XP it will drop is now visible. This should make it easier for players to calculate the best ways to farm creatures for XP. A lot of people didn't actually notice this in my teasers, but your inventory now has more storage. I would like to address the way you unlock storage is still the same way. On PC, you unlock storage by leveling up, however on mobile it's still with diamonds. Another thing that I can't quite confirm is that the bug fix with the anvil still might be in the update. The developer that I talked to did take note of it, but I'm not sure if this one's actually fixed or not. However, one bug that was fixed in this update is the controller bug. For a lot of people, for some reason the controller HUD just keeps appearing in front of their screen. That one has finally been fixed. Dragon Lord and Maddie buff. The Dragon Lord's new level max is actually 200 now, and his level is determined by the distance from spawn, just like all other creatures, except its level starts at 100. This makes the Dragon Lord a much bigger threat if you are far away from spawn. Also, Maddie is getting a health increase and now has 6000 HP, making our number one fact about Maddie in my Maddie video outdated. I don't plan on seeing how much magic damage it takes to take it out in one hit again. It took forever to do that once. I don't think I want to do it again. And now finally, the last two things I wanted to address. I wasn't looking forward to the time when I had to address these, but I feel like if I don't tell you people what's coming, I'm gonna get lots of comments about this once the update does hit in the future. There are two new design choices that are coming in this update that you may or may not agree with, so take this with a grain of salt. One of the new things occurring in this update is that only a few pets can actually go up into space. Some pets will actually suffocate up there and die. These pets include all the dragons except for Zoraxus, the spider, the snowman, the dog and cat, and most importantly, Gontar. The reason why Gontar can't go up into space is because he was created and born in the mainland, unlike the other Gontar that were actually created in space. So he was fully developed to breathe in the mainland and not in space. The only pets that do survive in space are the Phoenix, the Mech, Zoraxis, the Acid Dragon, and Maddie. Oh, and by the way, you can't escape Maddie. Maddie still spawns in space. The other feature that might be a little controversial to some people is that everything can teleport now.
What? What the fuck?
Yeah, you heard me right. Almost all creatures can actually teleport now. Now hold up. I don't mean they can all teleport frequently like the visitors do. I mean, if they get stuck, they're actually gonna teleport. I'm sure we're all aware that the creatures in this game can be kind of dumb and just run into walls or get stuck in places. So what's actually going to happen now is these creatures are going to teleport into a more open space so that they don't get stuck. If the game detects that they got stuck, they're essentially going to reset or teleport to a more wide open area, which could be next to you. I'm not trying to lower the hype of the update here. I just wanted to quickly let you all know some of the smaller features that are coming, along with some new interesting design choices. I myself am still just as excited to see this update release and finally get into people's hands. And I just know I'm going to be receiving lots of questions about these features. So I wanted to make it clear in this video that there might be some things players may or may not like. Who knows, I might be wrong, players might like these design choices. I'm still in contact with the developers discussing the update, and there is still unfortunately no release date, but I can assure you that we are getting really close to it. If you have any other questions, me or Sarah will be there to answer them below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.